than your governor, Andy Beshear.
How about Lieutenant Governor Jacqueline Coleman? The first active educator to serve in that job since Martha Lane Collins. Folks, in 2019, we came together and did what they said was impossible. We beat Matt Bevin. And tonight, we take that next step to securing 4 more years. You know, we have been through a lot together these last 4 years. We've been through a pandemic, tornadoes, flooding, 2 ice storms, 2 windstorms, a polar plunge, negative 45-degree wind chill in Kentucky. We've been through inflation that, while temporary, is still tough on our families. We're even living through a war in Europe, something I thought I'd only read about in textbooks. Though I did learn about 2 months ago that apparently I've been banned by Russia. Listen, they're digging pretty deep if they got to me. But even with all that historic adversity, even with all those challenges in such a short period of time, I don't know about you, but I'm actually more hopeful and more optimistic about what's to come for Kentucky than at any point in my lifetime. In many ways, it's like we're living that 30th song that says, "Weeping may linger in the evening, but joy comes in the morning." So just think back. I mean, go back to 2021 if you really want to feel that. We entered 2021 at the height of the pandemic. The Delta variant was raging. Hospitals were overrun. But 2021 will also be remembered as the year we didn't break. We shattered every economic development record in the books, and it wasn't even close. And I want to give you an idea about how big that year was. We went in averaging about $5 billion of new investment in Kentucky every year. We more than doubled that. A record of $11.2 billion invested in 2021. We love that because it comes with jobs. Right? A job brings dignity to an individual, security to a family, and opportunity to the next generation. We entered 2021 averaging about 9,000 new Kentucky jobs, and that year set a record 18,000 new jobs at the second highest wage we'd ever announced. And we didn't stop there. We rolled into 2022, our second best year ever. $10.5 billion in new investment, 16,500 new jobs, and it might just be June. But I'm going to report to you tonight that 2023 is at the very least going to be our third best year for economic development in our history. Me too. But just think for a second about what that means. What having the best 3 years of job creation in our history all in a row means. Just think about what it means if we have number 4, 5, 6, and 7 after that. It means we turn great years of economic development into decades of prosperity. It means we've got the chance to be the generations that change everything for everyone who comes after us. It means for these kids, we can turn our brain drain into a brain gain. Never to lose our talented young people to other states ever again. But how about other states' talented young people moving to the Commonwealth because we are where it's at? And I hope you see that happening. Think about it. We are home to the biggest investment in the history of Ford and the biggest investment in the history of Amazon. A month ago, I would have stood in front of you and said, Kentucky is now the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America. The Ford investment, $6 billion, by far our largest ever. The Envision investment, $2 billion ever. The Shelby County recent intervenue investment, $250 million just to start. That would have made us the electric vehicle battery production capital of the United States of America. But then we got some news last week. Toyota was investing $600 million to take the very first U.S. facility they built in Georgetown fully electric this next year. I'm here to tell you, we are now just the EV capital of the United States of America and the Commonwealth of Kentucky. first time in my lifetime, every other state around us is looking at us with envy. They're saying, Kentucky, how are you doing this? And I'm looking back saying, I'm not telling you. But folks, it's not me, it's us. It's good people, people of faith and values. I can't tell you how many CEOs that have called me saying they tuned in after tornadoes or floods, and they tuned in to see the devastation, and sadly they saw it. What they also saw were amazing people. People pulling up into each other's driveways, getting out, introducing themselves for the very first time, and saying, how could I help you? They saw story after story of people wading through the floodwaters when it was still dangerous, because they were not going to leave a neighbor in their house, and they carried their fellow human being to safety. The fact is, this has always been a special place, and the rest of the world is now seeing it. I mean, think about the recognition we're getting. We were ranked last year number 2 in per capita economic development in the country, but get this, we were ranked number 3 in the creation of rural jobs right here in Kentucky. Most recent ranking came out of Site Selection's Prosperity Cup. It's about states bringing prosperity to their people. We were ranked number 5, highest we've ever been in the country, but get this. For the first time in our history, we were number 1 in our region, leapfrogging these 2 states named Tennessee and Texas. And what we have a chance to do is so special. For a dad of a son who turned 14 yesterday, and a daughter who's turning 13 on Sunday, 2 teenagers, please pray for me. We have a chance to build the Kentucky we've always wanted, that no matter how big these kids dream, they can chase their dreams not just in Kentucky, but in the region that they're from. And while we're doing this, think about other things we've done. We set the lowest annual unemployment rate in our history last year. We set the lowest monthly unemployment rate in our history last month. We'll have had the 4 biggest budget surpluses in what will be our first 4 years in these office, while cutting income taxes at the same time. We have the largest rainy day fund in our history combined. That means we have more than enough money to give our public school educators the big raise they deserve. In fact, our economy is booming so much, and we've taken care of our fiscal house, that we got our first bond rating upgrade in 13 years, and that means 3 things. Number 1, big projects we do out there, schools we build will cost less. We can do more. Number 2, one of the toughest critics out there says our economy is better and booming more than other states. But number 3, they said it very specifically, that the pensions of every teacher, police officer, firefighter, social worker, every state, city, and county employee are safer than they've been in decades. And you want to think about the difference one election makes? Go back 6 years. That last governor and General Assembly tried to illegally cut those pensions. My opponent said if he were Attorney General, he would have defended that bill and fought to cut those pensions. Thankfully, we had a different Attorney General then. I sued, we won, we protected those pensions, and now they are in the best shape they've been in a long time. So you might think, when you're setting these records for jobs in the economy, lowest unemployment, I'll tell you what, when you're doing all that, you also do great things for society. Y'all realize we have fewer kids in our foster care system today than we did 4 years ago. Try this one. We've got the lowest recidivism rate in the history of Kentucky, meaning we're living our faith, rebuilding our lives, and making our community safer, because people are reoffending less as they leave our correctional institutions. But this is the one I'm proudest of, because tens of thousands of Kentuckians have worked towards it. Last year, we were one of only 8 states in the entire country to see a significant decrease in drug overdose deaths. Listen, that's when we know we're not just setting records for prosperity, but that this work that we have done and done together, realizing that it's not red or blue, Democrat or Republican, that we're not trying to pull a state to the right or the left, we're just trying to move it forward for every single Kentucky family, that we can do better on jobs, we can provide more clean drinking water, we can expand broadband at a rate we've never seen, we can do more work on our roads and on our bridges, We can work on 3 mega projects at the same time: 4-laning the Mountain Parkway, building the Brent Spence Companion Bridge, and that I-69 corridor in the west. We can do all of it while making sure no one is left behind. Folks, we are leaving a moment of darkness and difficulty and entering one of light and prosperity. We are meeting a historic moment, and we have a chance to do it right. Folks, we have so many new jobs right now. We have got a chance to make sure everyone is included, to bring prosperity to every part of the state, including those that have too often been left out, in every neighborhood in our cities, especially those that have been too often left out. We can make sure that every single group of people, especially those that are too often left out, are included. And if we can meet this moment with our faith and values, if we can get a historic moment like this right, then everyone all over the country, every CEO all over the globe is going to want to be a part of what we've got going on right here in Kentucky. Again, you might not think this race is going to be as hard as it's going to be, but let me tell you, it is. We ought to treat every one of these polls they're pushing out like they're right, and we ought to fight every day like it's tied. Look, when the future of the Commonwealth is at stake, our best chance for prosperity, to leapfrog 10 other states' economies, or even be a top 10 state economy, we have to win this election. Yes. Listen, last time we got out, we knocked 1.1 million doors. We got to knock 1.4 million this time. Last time, we wrote a record number of postcards. And I don't want anybody to get carpal tunnel syndrome, but I'm told it's treatable. And last time, we raised a record amount of money, and we've got to do even more this time. Listen, not everything in politics is about money, but to do it right, everything in politics and elections costs money to do it. So I know you all are helping in a lot of ways tonight, but figure out that way you can help in that area too, because we cannot let Mitch McConnell and dark money coming from Washington, D.C. put his protege in office over the wishes of everyday Kentuckians chipping in to make sure we win. Now I'm going to admit something to you. In every election I've been in, I've stood in front of y'all and I've said the same phrase. Do you remember it? This is the most important election of our lifetime. But I want you to think back to the last one. We said it when we thought it was a race about right versus wrong. Turns out it was a race about life versus death. So for everything you did to help us win in 2019, I hope you're proud, because together we saved tens of thousands of lives here in Kentucky. But even with that, I'm here to tell you I truly believe this race is the most important. Because yes, while we want to get through times of great difficulty, yes, while we want to protect our neighbor during the scariest of times, when we have a chance to provide an incredible future, to do more to address generational poverty than ever before, to do more to restore hope that might have been lost, to have that good job and good future for every single Kentucky family, to make sure we don't lose these talented kids ever again. When we have that chance to be a leader, never a flyover state ever again, never to have people look down their nose at us ever again, never to have people make fun of our accents ever again. This is truly our chance. Listen, this is why I wanted to be governor and Jacqueline Coleman wanted to be lieutenant governor. A chance to better the lives of every single family. Listen, regardless of their party, regardless of how they vote, we have got a chance to move every single family forward. So are you with us? Yeah. Will you knock every door? Will you write every postcard? Will you give every dollar? All right, I heard that one. But in all seriousness, folks, this is our chance, not only to get out there and win this election, but to build the Commonwealth our kids and our grandkids truly deserve. Thank you all very much.
Can you get one more big round of applause? Governor, Lieutenant Governor, and all the other candidates that we're going to be voting for this November. Again, again, I want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and showing the blues, showing the love. We couldn't have done this without your help. Thanks to Whiskey Bent Valley Boys, Jericho Farmhouse for their sweet treats, Woodbury Winery for this beautiful venue and their wine, and for all the volunteers through our neighboring counties who helped us put this together. A big thanks to you.